They sit in the shadows, scheming against you, hoping to bring you down. But they cannot see the divine shield that wraps around you like a warm blanket. What they want to destroy will actually lead to your rebirth. Their weapons may be crafted in darkness, but God's brilliant light will shatter every single one of their plans. The enemy thinks they can kill your spirit, but instead, they will only help you rise stronger than ever. You may feel like you're walking through a valley filled with traps, but remember that God walks ahead of you, lighting your path. Every snare they set will catch them instead of you. The enemy believes they have trapped you, but they completely underestimate the power of God's protection. The pit they dug for you will become their own grave, a reminder of their misguided intentions. Behind their false smiles lie sharp knives, ready to strike. Yet, every blow they aim at you will miss, for God's shield covers you from head to toe. They have tried to orchestrate a storm to drown you, but God will use that same storm to cleanse you. Instead of sinking, you will rise to heights they could never even imagine. Your enemies don't realize their plot is doomed from the beginning. With every step they take against you, God takes 2 steps in your favor, guiding you toward safety and strength. They may conspire to poison your soul with lies and betrayal, but God will transform that poison into a powerful antidote that strengthens you. They want to silence your voice, but God is preparing to amplify your message louder than they ever dreamed. Their plans to crush your spirit will backfire in spectacular ways. What they intended for harm will be the very thing that awakens a deeper power within you. They try to bury you under their jealousy and hate, thinking they can smother your spirit. But they forget one important thing: you are a seed. God is getting you ready to bloom in ways they could never imagine. The arrows they shoot at you in secret will never reach their target. God has caught each one and will send them back in surprising ways. Your enemies may be plotting your downfall, but what they don't see is that God is planning your incredible resurrection. The grave they dug for you will end up empty. They have tried to isolate you, believing that loneliness will weaken your spirit. But in your solitude, God has been your greatest strength. Their hurtful words were meant to break you, but in God's hands, every insult and accusation is being turned into a blessing that goes beyond their understanding. They've laid traps in every direction, but God is flipping their strategies into stepping stones that lift you higher. Your enemies want to see you fall, but every time they try to push you down, God lifts you higher, out of their reach. Soon, the whispers of your enemies will turn into screams of frustration as they witness God turning every curse they spoke against you into a blessing. They thought they could weaken you with their lies, but what they don't realize is that God has already fortified your foundation. You will not be shaken or moved. The darkness they surround you with is just a shadow. God's brilliant light is about to break through in ways that will blind your enemies. They are weaving a web to trap you, but God has already untangled every single thread. With each plan they make, they become more ensnared in their own deceit. The enemy's biggest weapon is fear. But God has already armed you with faith. What they plan to use against you will turn into your testimony of victory. Their swords of envy will shatter against the armor of grace that God has placed on you. Every attack they make will only make you stronger. They've tried to ruin your name, but God is rewriting your story in golden letters. Their plans will fail, and your legacy will shine brighter than ever before. The weapons they formed against you will become useless in the presence of God's favor. You are untouchable, not because of your own strength, but because of His. Your enemies might plot in secret, but God sees everything. Their hidden agendas will be exposed in the light of His truth, and you will stand victorious. They are counting on your weakness, but they don't know that God's strength shines brightest in your weak moments. Every plan they create will crumble. Their betrayal was meant to break your spirit, but God is using it to show you who truly stands by your side. You are being pruned for greater things. They think they've won, but God is just getting started. Every move they make against you gives God another chance to display His power. Your enemies underestimate the God who fights for you. Their weapons of fear and deceit are no match for His truth and love. They want to see you suffer, but what they don't know is that God is using their cruelty to forge a new strength within you. The fire they meant to burn you will instead refine you, and you will come out of the flames shining with a glory they could never take away. They aim to kill your dreams, but God is the one who gives dreams. No weapon they form against you will succeed, for your purpose is protected by divine power. Their alliance against you is weak because it's built on lies. God's truth will shatter their unity and leave them confused. They wanted to extinguish your light, but God's brilliance inside you will only shine brighter. What they planned for darkness will instead reveal your divine radiance. They think they can control your destiny, but God is the ultimate author of your story. Every attempt they make to derail you will lead to an even greater triumph. Their strategies aim to isolate you, but God surrounds you with divine favor. Their attempts to cut you off will only bring you closer to your source of strength. The webs they weave to trap you will turn into nets that catch them instead. God's plan for your life is far too great for their schemes to succeed. They are plotting your downfall, but God is orchestrating your rise. Every attempt to harm you will turn into stepping stones for your greatest victories. Their deceitful plots are meant to weaken you, but God's truth will strengthen your spirit. What they try to destroy will only make you stronger. They want to see you fail, but God is setting you up for success. Every scheme against you will meet divine intervention that pushes you forward. The snares they set to capture you will end up trapping them. God's protection over your life is like a fortress that no enemy can breach. They are crafting their attacks, but God is crafting your destiny. Their plans are temporary, but His purpose for your life is eternal and unshakable. Their envy will be the seed of their destruction. God is turning their bad intentions into the soil where your blessings will grow and flourish. They want to see you crushed under their weight, but God's grace is lifting you higher. Every burden they place upon you will become a stepping stone to your greatness. They think their plans are perfect, but God's wisdom is much greater. Every scheme they create will unravel as His purpose unfolds in your life. They aim to destroy your hope, but God is the source of unshakable hope. Their efforts to snuff it out will only make it burn brighter. They want to break your spirit with betrayal, but God is using it to build an unbreakable faith in you. What they meant for harm will become your source of strength. The storm they send to drown you will instead lift you to new heights. God's power is far greater than their schemes. They count on your defeat, but God counts on your victory. Every attack they make will show His power working in your favor. Their envy will lead them to their own downfall. God's protection over you is a fortress that their plans cannot breach. They want to silence your voice, but God's truth will amplify it. What they try to suppress will become a powerful shout of His glory. The attacks they plan will meet God's divine intervention. Every effort they make to harm you will turn into a story of His faithfulness. They think they have the upper hand, but God's hand is mightier. Their plans against you will fall apart under the power of His grace. They want to break you, but God is mending you with His love. What they meant to destroy will only enhance the beauty of His work in your life. Their schemes are like paper tigers, God's might will tear right through them. You will come out untouched, stronger, and victorious. The shadows they cast will be lit up by God's light. Every attempt they make to harm you will reveal the strength of His protection and love. They believe they can outsmart God, but His wisdom is beyond their understanding. Every plot they create will face His divine intervention. So stand firm and trust in God's plan. You are destined for greatness.